when you are pinning the top of your blanket to the back, make sure and pin along the seam that you're going to use, and also pin it towards the edge of the blanket too, just like that. Otherwise, when you sew the seams, as I found out, you can sew them crooked where the material will bunch and it won't look very nice and neat on the other side. So that's a good solution for that problem. I have all 4 sides that are loosely attached to the backing, and I just went around the outside edges to do this, so I'm going to travel further in the blanket and then attach the top to the backing along the inner square there. So what I'm going to do to attach it to the inner square is I'm just going to pin through the bottom and the top, and then just go ahead and sew along the edges there. I pinned a little ways away from where I'm going to sew, and then I made sure that the sheet was nice and tight underneath of it, and then I pinned it tight so that it won't bunch up and wrinkle when I sew it. Now I have the top of the quilt attached to the bottom of it, and I'm going to show you how I'll do the border around the blanket. I left about 4 inches of material all the way around the blanket, and what I'll do first is I'll just fold it completely over the edge of the blanket, and then put a iron on steam setting and just iron it flat. Okay, so now that I folded it in half, I'm going to iron it again. Alright, and then I'm going to fold that in half one more time. Again. Now that I ironed it into quarters, then I'm going to flip it over onto the blanket, iron it flat. Now that I have it ironed flat, I'm going to take my stick pins and place it so that I can sew along the inside edge, so I'll have a nice border. Oh, I'll show you how I do the corners too. Okay, so you take the material and you pull it out flat, and then you take your other edge and you fold it into it, so it's just a simple crease there, and then you act like you're kind of wrapping a present, and you fold the triangle to the edge of the blanket there, and then you just fold it over like that, and then you have a nice beveled edge there. Okay, so I pinned it together so it'll make a nice edge once I'm done sewing around the border. Okay, so now I have the border pinned together, so it'll be ready for me to sew all around the edges of the blanket, and then the blanket will be almost done. Yay! As you can see, the blanket is finished and it is fully attached to the backing. It makes for a very pretty decoration and nice cozy blanket. And it's also a fun project for people who aren't that familiar with quilting. Easy way to make a blanket. So thanks for watching.